We're back. It's been a while, but we're back. And we're back. We're back to talk about the current Joe Biden administration and what he did on the April 7th. He gave a little speech. He gave a little speechy boy. Gave a little speech about gun violence in America. And the speech was pretty standard. Kamala Harris came out first. Vice President Harris came out first. And she didn't really have anything of substance to say, to be honest. She spoke about how solutions, quote, solutions exist. She said that over and over and over again. But she didn't say any of the solutions. She didn't mention a single one. And the whole way she said it, the whole vibe, hey bud, I got a dog, by the way. His name is Bernard. You want to talk about Kamala Harris? The way she said it, her whole attitude was like, okay, you're gonna have to go. Goodbye. Her whole attitude was very elitist and snobby, talking about solutions exist. It was really cringe.
Because the solutions exist. They already exist.
After that, Biden came out, and he, it was just pretty standard Biden. He pulled at the heartstrings a little bit, so he kind of gave a little jab to the right, and he said the next things he was going to talk about have everything to do with the Second Amendment, or I think I quoted him. He said, "What I am going to suggest is within the realm of the Second Amendment." And then he called out the right, saying, the phony arguments they have are just untrue. And when he says they, he's talking about Republicans. And then he lists some numbers about gun violence in the states. He lists that 316 people are shot every day in the United States, and 106 of them die. So I looked into those numbers because it kind of seemed a little low, I thought. Those numbers checked out. There's a gun control advocacy group called the Brady United Group. They verify the numbers, and then also PolitiFact had some pretty similar numbers too. They had 270 people shot per day with only 87 dying. So then Biden goes on to talk about the major things he wants to accomplish in his first term having to do with gun violence. And actually the first one he mentioned, I didn't even know was a thing, and I kind of agree. I agree with him on this. He says he first wants to address the issues of ghost guns, and I had no idea what a ghost gun was. And the way he described it was you can buy a kit online and there are instructions to finish the firearm. That's actually an exact quote. And I immediately was like, no, that doesn't exist. He's got to be bullshitting. No, but that is real. You can go on the internet and you can buy a little box, a little cardboard box with a bunch of parts in it with instructions that you can literally build a gun in your house. And what he wants to do addressing ghost guns is he wants to make it harder to get. You have to get a background check to get one, and they have to be serial numbered. That's a big thing that President Biden didn't enjoy about those was they're not serial numbered. And I looked it up, and according to the federal law, these guns, because they are not complete, they are not classified as a firearm because you have to build them yourself. So that means in order to purchase these kits, you don't need a background check, and the weapons are not serial numbered. And when I read that, I was like, oh, well, that's kind of silly. Why would you not have to have a background check and those be serial numbered if you can just build a gun in your house? So, yeah. So Biden also called for universal background checks going along with the ghost gun law and closing the loopholes at the gun show. And I totally agree with that. I don't understand why anyone would make the argument that when you're buying a gun, the company you're buying it from doesn't deserve to know that you're a criminal or you have like some mental issues. Because, it's a gun. So next in the speech, he pledged to rewrite or rework the Violence Against Women Act. There's a version of this bill making its way through Congress right now, actually. March 22nd of this year, it passed the House, and it's now going to move to the Senate. The original Violence Against Women Act, which Biden helped write in 94, was signed into law. And the new provision that he wants to rework or re-add into it, as I understand it, is it would make it illegal to own a firearm if you have been involved in a domestic violence crime or if there is an active restraining order against you. That was kind of like for me, because I don't really know why, to be honest. I don't know why I read that and went, I don't know how I feel about it. Is it a good idea to restrict someone from carrying a gun if they were, if they have an active restraining order? Yes. If there's somebody else in the country that has a court order saying that you cannot get within a few feet of them, that person probably shouldn't be able to own a gun for that time period if restraining orders ever expire. I don't know how that works, because that just seems like, protecting the person who filed for the restraining order. But if you've been involved in a domestic violence crime, now obviously this probably means if you were the aggressor in the crime, you would not be allowed to own a gun. But say you get charged in a domestic violence dispute, whether it be male-female or male-male or female-female, say you get charged for that when you're 18 or 19. Does that mean that you shouldn't be able to own a gun for the rest of your life? Probably not. And I doubt that's how the law is actually going to be. When I looked into it, the language was really difficult to understand and pretty open to interpretation, but it didn't seem like that. So let's hope that it only passed the House, which means it has to go to the Senate, and then to the president to be signed into law if it passes the Senate. And there are so many fucks in the Senate. This is going to get rewritten. This is going to get reworked and rewritten 100 different times before it comes law, if it even does. So the next thing President Biden floated in the speech that he gave is where I think it's going to get a little tricky. And I can see a big culture war fight being fought out about this. Like, I can't wait for the Fox News and the Newsmax and One American News scream and cry and continue to pretty much gaslight their audience about this law, because the way it was written in 94, if they try, and I'm going to tell you what the law is in a second, but if they try and go for it how it says in 94, it'll never pass, essentially, is what I'm trying to get at. So apparently there was a law in 1994, the House passed a bill that banned semi-automatic assault weapons for 10 years. So here's where the law gets a little tricky, because in 94, the law classified a semi-automatic assault weapon. Obviously, your AR-15's in there, the FAL's in there, the MAC-12 is in there, all of your, street sweeper style shotguns, all that kind of stuff. But where it makes, and this is probably where it died in the Senate in 94, and they need to rewrite it if they're going to get it passed this time, because this is not going to fly with the current landscape, political landscape. So it classifies a semi-automatic assault weapon as a semi-automatic rifle that has the ability to accept a detachable magazine and has at least two of a folding telescoping stock, a pistol grips that protrudes beneath the action of the weapon, a bayonet mount, a flash suppressor or thread barrel, a grenade launcher. So you can't have a detachable magazine in two of those five things. The next is semi-automatic pistols. So the semi-automatic pistol that has the ability to accept a detachable magazine and at least two of the following: ammunition that attaches to the pistol outside of the pistol grip. So like the magazine that has the two taped together, can't have those. A threaded barrel accepting a barrel extender, a suppressor, or a forward hand grip or silencer. It goes on to the next page, and it says, we're still on pistols, goes to the next page, a barrel that permits the shooter to hold the firearm with the non-trigger hand without being burned. I don't even know what that means, but essentially it means if you can hold a gun with your non-firing hand, and I guess the heat from the barrel burning you, apparently. So pretty much if you've modded any gun that you've ever bought, it's not allowed. You're just not allowed to have that anymore. Which I don't know about that one. And so then it goes on to semi-automatic shotguns that has at least two of the following: a folding or telescoping stock, a pistol grip that protrudes beneath the weapon, a fixed magazine capacity in excess of 5 rounds, and the ability to accept a detachable magazine. I'm not a gun expert. I don't really know anything about guns, to be honest. I've never even held a gun before. But I feel like shotguns, in particular, have more than 5 rounds. Now, I could be wrong, but I think they probably do. And the whole thing about the semi-automatic weapon, if it has a detachable magazine, and then 2 of the 5 attachments, I guess you could say, would just be not allowed at all. And the attachments really weren't anything crazy. Okay, grenade launcher, sure. Maybe not grenade launchers. A bayonet mount, really. And the silencers, flash guards, that sort of thing. Additional grips. Imagine trying to fire a shotgun without a grip. Are you kidding me? Most people who've never fired a gun before, who buy a shotgun for protection, have never fired it. And when they do fire it, if it doesn't have a grip on it, they're going to knock themselves out with the recoil. Now, again, I've never fired a shotgun before, but I've seen videos, and there's just like a thing with like you've seen the fail clips of they're holding a shotgun and it, the backfire so hard it hits them in the mouth. That would happen all the time. It's kind of silly. And then he gets to his final idea or point that he wants to make. And he says, during this part, he says, specifically, he says, if he can't get any of the other things that we mentioned, this would be his main one that he would want to get. And if this is his main one he wants to get, you can forget about it, because this one is kind of silly in my view. The most important piece to President Biden would be the ability to sue gun manufacturers for mass shootings. He compared it to the lawsuit against Big Tobacco for lying about the dangers of tobacco products. Now, this is completely ridiculous, because everybody knows that if you fire a gun at a human, that human's probably going to die, like 95%, if it's point blank in the face. You're probably going to die. Now, with the tobacco thing, yeah, they were lying about the dangers of their products, and they were rightfully sued for millions and millions of dollars. And everyone kind of knew that tobacco products kill you. But I could see the argument, because it takes years for that to happen. You don't smoke one cigarette and die. You have to smoke a lot over your lifetime to have long health implications. But guns are different, okay? They're instant, they're loud, and they're used to kill a lot of people sometimes. Now, let me be totally clear. I'm a Second Amendment person. I think having a gun is a good idea. I think it's cool. A new gun store actually opened up right by my apartment, and I've been thinking about it, okay? Not that I need one because I live in a dangerous area, but I feel like I'm an American, it's my right, and everyone should own a gun, in my opinion. But mass shootings happen, and there are ways to prevent them from happening. And it's not prohibition. Prohibition doesn't work. We saw it with alcohol, and we're seeing it right now with the insane opioid epidemic, okay? Prohibition doesn't work in any situation, especially guns. If you make guns illegal completely, the guns that are already not registered become more valuable, and then a black market starts to arise. Even though the priority is one, it would get more dangerous, and it would have a bigger volume, which means there would be more unregistered guns on the streets, and normal Americans would not have their own firearms to protect themselves. So, Do we need guns? Yes. Do we need to rewrite gun law? Yes. Can we do that under the realm of the Second Amendment and not piss everyone off? Probably not, but we gotta try, I think. Universal background checks, good. Ghost guns, probably should have them registered before you're allowed to sell them, and you should probably get a background check in order to get one. That's probably fine. Gun shows, it's kind of a gray area. Maybe if you put in a purchase order for that gun at the show, or those 10 guns at the show, the manufacturer or the retailer says, okay, we get your order, we'll get your down payment, let's do half or 3/4 or whatever, and then we'll go back to the shop, we'll get your order ready to go. These are all floor models, and then we'll ship them to you after your background check comes through. I don't know. That just seems, like a normal fucking idea that maybe might work. I don't know. Maybe I'm a genius. So, yeah, I know there's going to be a bunch of culture war nonsense on Twitter and the major news networks about they're taking our guns away, socialism, and they're all fucking dumb. So don't listen to them. But this could go either way. They could go way overboard on the restrictions. I don't think they're going to, because even though Democrats control all three branches of government right now, it's pretty even. It's 50-50, actually, in the Senate. The only reason Democrats technically control the Senate is because the president of the Senate is the vice president of the United States, and that's Kamala Harris, and she's a Democrat. So, it's pretty 50-50. So this is probably not gonna fly unless they rework it, right? That being said, thanks for watching this video, and I will be posting more as soon as there's more dumb shit to talk about. So continue to watch, continue to read. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.